Uncharted. I still remember playing this game back in the day with my cousins, but does it still hold up? Well, let's take a look at the first of Naughty Dog's many fantastic games on the PS3, Uncharted: Drake's Fortune. But first, a little background on the game. After releasing Jak 3 in 2004, Naughty Dog swiftly created a team to tackle a new IP worthy of Sony's new console, the PS3. With more advanced hardware, this team opted for a game with a more realistic design compared to the studio's stylized franchises, such as Jak and Daxter. After 2 years of development, Uncharted was born. First shown at E3 2006, Uncharted was rapidly compared to the likes of Tomb Raider and quickly earned the name Dude Raider. Even though Uncharted focused on more cover-based shooting and exploration, while Tomb Raider was more focused on puzzle-solving elements. But Uncharted was released in 2007 as an obvious frontrunner release for Sony's PS3. The game quickly went gold, and the decision to pursue a sequel was a no-brainer. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's begin with the story. Now, in my last review, I was purposely a little brief on the story with Metal Gear Solid 5, well, since, of course, it was a new release. But with this game, since it's 8 years old, we're going to dive right into the story. So get ready, guys, because this is going to be a big part of the review. Uncharted: Drake's Fortune begins with an ominous shot of a coffin being recovered off the coast of Panama. There we see the main protagonist, Nathan Drake, a supposed descendant of the famous British explorer Sir Francis Drake, and actually useful love interest, Elena Fisher, a photojournalist hoping to uncover a great story, on a boat opening the assumed coffin of Sir Francis Drake. But when Nathan opens it, the coffin is empty except for Francis Drake's personal journal, which will hopefully uncover where the secret treasure is. But trouble arises when pirates ambush Nate and Elena, which, in my opinion, kicks the game off in a great way. The game wastes no time in throwing you into the action, which I really like. I mean, who likes a slow beginning to a video game? But anyway, Drake's other sidekick, Victor Sully Sullivan, a cash-strapped old man who's personally my favorite character in the series, comes to the rescue where he flies Drake and Elena to shore. When they reach the shore, Drake shows Sully that the treasure can be found, which is called
El Goddamn Dorado.
After their conversation, Sully and Drake ditch Elena and head for the Amazon, where they uncover a German U-boat stranded on a cliff. Drake explores the U-boat and finds a treasure map revealing that El Dorado is located on a small island in the South Pacific. But another cutscene ensues where a man whom Sully owes a lot of money to, Gabriel Roman, and his accomplice, Navarro, shoot Sully for not revealing the treasure in time, prompting Drake to make a quick getaway. However, Elena follows Drake to his location where they escape the enemies and fly to the tiny island. But when they reach their destination, their plane is shot down, separating Drake and Elena. When Drake is just about to catch up with Elena, two of Roman's mercenaries are about to shoot her. So, Drake, being the dashing protagonist he is, distracts them where he is somehow put into a prison. Here, Drake meets his, shall we say, competitor, Eddie Raja. But again, Elena saves his ass by pulling out the back wall of Drake's cell with a car. Very creative, Naughty Dog. Nonetheless, Drake and Elena escape yet again. After this is what I like to call the shit in the middle of the sandwich part of the game. Nothing really happens that has any huge effect on the story other than Drake bitching about giving up, and then Elena has to give him a little motivational speech. So, story goes on, yada yada yada, shoot some bad guys, yada yada yada, and then we finally get to a pivotal plot point. Basically, Drake and Elena find out that Sully did get shot, but never really died after all. And get this, back when Drake was about to explore the U-boat, he gave Sully Sir Francis Drake's journal that he pried out of the empty column. When Roman shot him, the journal stopped the bullet. Are you freaking kidding me? How the hell could a 400-year-old or whatever stop a bullet? What the hell? Was the book made out of fucking mantium? Ugh, I don't know why, but that is just such a weak excuse for temporarily killing off a character. I mean, couldn't they just have Roman capture Sully or something like that? I gotta be honest, this was a major weak point on Naughty Dog's part in storytelling. But I digress. So, Drake, Elena, and Sully find a secret passageway in this library, but you guessed it, they get split up again. You know what? I don't even know what to say about this, other than it won't be the last time. While further exploring the underground levels, Drake eavesdrops on a conversation, learning that Roman, Navarro, and Eddie are all working together to find El Dorado. Drake continues until he's ambushed by Eddie. But The room they are in gets invaded by these creatures. I suppose the best way to describe them is a one-off of Gollum for Lord of the Rings. Drake and Eddie team up to fight them off. However, Eddie is surprisingly bitten by one of these creatures and cannot be saved by Drake. All that leaves is Roman and Navarro standing in the way of El Dorado. So, Drake then progresses through the depths of the island where he comes across a secret Nazi base. But while he is finding the generator room to turn the power back on in the base, he comes across a letter written by Francis Drake that the Nazis must have salvaged while exploring the depths of the island 60 years ago. In Drake's letter, he reveals that the treasure is really a curse that will turn people into possessed, four-legged quadrupeds. So, after this revelation, Drake gets a power on in the base and finds out Elena has been kidnapped by Roman. Again, yada yada yada, we shoot some bad guys until they meet each other at the site of El Dorado. In a pivotal cutscene, Roman opens the sarcophagus of El Dorado, which possesses him, turning him into one of those monsters. So, Navarro shoots him in the head, killing him. Then we realize that it was Navarro all along who was really behind the whole scheme. He still has Elena, and El Dorado is airlifted from the island to a boat in the sea. But again, our protagonist literally jumps on El Dorado to defeat Navarro and make sure the mystical treasure is destroyed forever. Enter the final boss fight. It really is a cakewalk with the right timing and reflexes, but to go off on a tangent here, I really did like the color palette Naughty Dog went with on this level. After completing the boss fight, Drake pushes a helicopter off the boat, which had El Dorado tied to it, and hell, why not kill two birds with one stone? Navarro was standing on the ropes which tie around his ankle, sending the bad guy and the treasure into the depths of the ocean to never be found again. So, Drake and Elena kiss and some cheesy lines are thrown out in which the game ends. Okay, so, now that the story is finished, let's talk about it. Personally, I thought it was pretty good. The plot serves its point by being a fun, lighthearted, and ridiculous treasure hunt adventure. Yes, I know some of the tropes in the story are quite unoriginal, like throwing the Nazis in there. Indiana Jones. But still, you know that an adventure is waiting every time you pick this one up. The mood set in Uncharted is one that can be experienced time and time again compared to the dose of depression that are games such as Heavy Rain and Shadow of the Colossus. I guess what I'm trying to get at here is that I can play this game no matter what mood I'm in. I hate it when it feels like filler is putting games slowing down the story. But in here, I never really got that vibe. Nolan North is excellent as Nathan Drake, as well as the other voice talent in the game. Sully and Elena's voices are done quite well. You can really tell the time and effort these voice actors put into their roles. To sum it up, the story wasn't as good as other Naughty Dog games in the future, but hey, at least the pacing was decent and it was still entertaining. And with a new franchise comes new and advanced hardware to make that game beautiful. So, let's take a look at how this game looks. Considering the fact that this game was made in the mid-2000s, it still holds up almost 10 years later. The bright color palette is still as breathtaking as it was years ago. The stunning blue sky and lush green forests of the island just add to the sense of adventure and getting lost on a treasure hunt. And also, look at them water graphics. Ah, so beautiful. While the story was okay in this game, the gameplay and climbing mechanics are definitely the main focus. Drake maneuvers seamlessly while climbing perfectly through obstacles. Well, almost perfectly. I did have some times where Drake would just jump in the completely wrong direction and fall to his death, which really puzzled me, but I'm really nitpicking with this little issue. Besides, in the following games, there is really no issue with this anyway. Nonetheless, I really credit the pure enjoyment of this game to its climbing mechanics. The level design is flawless, with Drake climbing the likes of old castles, churches, towers, and even a waterfall. You can really tell the thought-out design and creativity that comes along with this aspect of the game. And to be honest, it really was a no-brainer Naughty Dog would knock platforming out of the park with this one, considering their track record of excellent platformers such as Crash Bandicoot and the Jak and Daxter series. And, of course, shooting is the other half of the gameplay. The first thing you learn to do in the game is shoot, and holy shit, is it fun. The aiming is smooth, with a slight auto-aim function built in to ensure smooth shootouts with enemies. The weapon choices are diverse and unique. With guns like shotguns, pistols, machine guns, and even a grenade launcher, there's plenty of fun to be had here. Also, there are challenges in the game that reward you with a trophy for getting a certain amount of kills with a weapon or killing enough people with headshots. More extras are found present in the game through collectibles scattered all over the levels in the game. In total, there are around 60, which collecting them all will merit you with a trophy and various in-game awards. They can be spotted with a dim flashing light, usually hidden in nooks and crannies that will definitely be out of the way of your beaten path. Unless you want to platinum the game, I don't really see the benefit of looking for all these collectibles, since you don't really get that much stuff in-game anyway. To wrap it up, guys, Uncharted was a strong beginning to Naughty Dog's debut on the PS3. It feels like the game hasn't aged a bit with such beautiful graphics and amazingly fun gameplay. If you have a PS3, then you have to pick this one up. I give this game a 7.5 out of 10. Why a 7.5? Well, I just can't get past that huge plot hole with Drake's journal. But other than that, it's a fantastic game that is just fun waiting to happen. Fuck!